Hi there, my name's Elizabeth and welcome back to the Flower Farm. So today we are going to talk about pinching, not pinching your brother or your husband or your best friend, but pinching flowers. Actually, you could do this to all sorts of other plants, but since we're a flower farmer, I'm a flower farmer, we're going to talk about pinching flowers. First of all, I also have to apologize. I was going to do this outside, but we've got some storms blowing in and the wind is really up. And I've been outside doing fun stuff, planting and trying to mow the yard before we get much more rain. So I'm a little disheveled. But that's okay. We're going to talk about flowers, and it's always good that way. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about are Lisianthus. So you don't want to pinch all flowers or all plants. Only plants in this case for flowers are that are going to be a cut and come again. That means that only flowers that you're going to be able to cut multiple times through the season and they'll just make more and more flowers. There are some flowers, however, that you're not able to do that. They produce one beautiful bloom and then that's it. So if you cut them at all during the first several months of weeks, months of their life, if you cut them at all, then you'll cut the opportunity to receive a bloom. They won't produce a bloom. Some plants, flowers that I can think of right off the bat are some sunflowers, not all of them, but some sunflowers. Lilies, you can't cut the top off the lily, or you're going to miss the bloom. You'll actually literally cut the blooming bud off. Um, some stock. Matter of fact, most all stock is just cut once and that's it. There are coming out with some stock that is branching, but it's not very vigorous, branching. Bupleurum is another one. So the point is, not all flowers can be pinched successfully and create a bushier plant that's going to create more blooms from you. So know your plants. If you're not sure, Google it or look it up on the package. Sometimes the seed package will tell you that information. That's my thought. So, but this is Lisianthus. You can pinch Lisianthus. They will bloom for you all summer long. It's amazing. Big, fluffy, gorgeous blooms. And so we're going to talk about these guys today. So let me get closer. As you can see, this particular Lisianthus has one long stalk or one long stem. And so what you're going to want to do is get your cutters, your nippers, and actually you could do this with your fingers if you wanted to, but I like to do it with the nippers. It's sometimes when you pinch it with your fingers, you end up crushing the stem, and that's really not your best option for the plant. So you go above the first set of leaves and go past the first true set of leaves and cut this stalk right off, just like that. And then over a period of time, two more branches will develop from this stalk that you just cut, one here and one there. And from there, you'll receive not one, but two flowers. If you really had a long growing season, you could continue to cut this back. So in other words, if you, after you receive two branches here and here, you could actually cut those back too and receive four. Just like the multiplication tables, or the inchworm. Remember that? One is two, two is two. Okay, you know what I mean. However, if you had, I don't have a good example, if you cut the stalk so far back that you cut it below the first set of leaves, you'll pretty much killed your plant. All plants, the only way that they feed and create photosynthesis from the sun is through their leaves. If they have no leaves, then you've essentially cut off their ability to feed themselves. So just make sure that you cut the stem, the leading stem, above the first couple sets of leaves. And actually, most places recommend that you wait until the plant has 3 to 5 leaves before you cut anything, just to ensure that the plant's going to be able to, like I said, feed itself with lots of photosynthesis. Okay, so some of the plants that you would do this to are Lisianthus, snapdragons, zinnias, cosmos, some sunflowers. You just have to pick which ones you're going to use. Lots of herbs, basil, oregano, rosemary, lots and lots of different plants. However, like I said, there's that little subgroup of both flowers and other plants that you would not want to trim or pinch, because you'll just essentially pinch the flower off for that year. Okay, if you have any questions at all, please put it in the comments and we'll talk about it next time. Thank you so much for joining me. We'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.